everyone, and my name is Shishan Chen, and you can also call me James if you like. I feel more comfortable and feel more close to you, and probably you will feel more comfortable asking questions during class if you call me James. Okay. So our class biostatistic practice will begin at 10 a.m. and every Monday. So we will have a 2-hour class, and I suggest you to bring along with your laptop because we have to install this the software tools in your laptop. And let me first introduce a little bit about myself and my background. So my background is a cancer biologist, and I got my PhD degree in molecular medicine and from National Tsinghua University. And I'm currently affiliated with Graduate Institute of Integrated Medicines. And here is my personal website. If you would like to know more about the information about this class, you can log on to my personal website. And here I talk a little bit more about my research. So my primary research interest is to develop a targeted therapy for human rare cancers. Right now, I'm focusing on the triple-negative breast cancers and metaplastic breast cancers. And I'm also working on a very unique antibody therapy. So, okay, I'll stop here. I'm not going to cover too much about my research. Okay, if you're interested, you can go to my website and check a little bit deeper. So, okay, so basically, in this class, I will teach you frequently use the software to deal with the large data sets. So here, recently we call this big data sets, right? So in this class, because the property of our class, so this class is going to be a multidisciplinary that will be touched upon at least 3 subjects. Okay. Now, number one is statistics, and then the big data processing, and then of course how to use the statistic software, SPSS and the GMP to process the data. Hopefully, by the end of the semester, we can reach to this point, and we can learn how to do the statistics in the big data set with the software tools. So here is our goal of the class. So in this class, I want to give you a real hands-on experience on the SPSS and the source GMP, and you will be using an online available database. And the data you download from the database will from the real patient or as well as the healthy individuals. So by doing so, you will learn how to do data retrieval and how to process the data. And during the class, I will give you a sample data sets from the cancer patients or the healthy individual, and you can exercise with these data sheets. And then later on, I will teach you how to define the variables in the data sets. So basically, this is the primary goals of my class. So here is our requirement for the class. So the requirement for this class, and there are a couple of things that you are going to fulfill to pass this class. And I will give you a handful of data sets that you can practice with, and I will show you how to do it step by step. So don't feel worried. Just so you know, and the students in last years, they finished this course with averaging A. So don't panic, okay? You will be doing great. Trust yourself, okay? So if you are new to the software or you are a software phobia, don't worry about it, okay? I will teach you how to use it, and no pressure, because we are not giving you an test or examinations. All you have to do, as you can see, 50% of your grade comes from in-class exercise, and another 25% from midterm assignment. Another test it is an assignment, and another 24% is from the final assignment. So from these 2 assignments, you'll be receiving several big data sets, and I will I will ask you to analyze the data set with a specific statistic method. So it's very simple. Don't worry about it. If you do all the in-class exercise, you will be fine. Okay, so here let me show you the very basic concept of data processing, and we are going to do in this class. So it is very simple. 3 steps: input, process, and then output. So input data could be the result of our questionnaires or online big data. So we can use the Excel or SPSS to process these data sets, and then we'll give the final output result, which could be tables or graphs. And there are several statistical methods such as a chi-square, a hazard ratio, and the cost regression, as well as the survival analysis that you'll be learned from this class. And the statistical software here we're going to learn, like I mentioned before, and the most popular one is SPSS, and you'll be learning another software tools, JMP as well, and the online database and algorithms. I will be introducing you a very useful online database called TCGA. So TCGA is currently the biggest online database in the world, and which is founded by the National Cancer Institute and NIH in America. And in addition to TCGA, and the UCSC Genome Browser and NCBN and Ensemble is also used for online resources. But we will, in this class, we will be mainly using TCGA data sets. Okay, and of course, in order to use the TCGA data sets, you have to use a you have to use a data protocol, the CBOW protocol. So that I will also teach you in this class. And here, UCSC Xena, as I mentioned before, is also a very interesting platform. So the data portal that we'll be going to use in this class is the CBOW portal and the Taiwan Biobank. So, in the first half, we'll be using the CBOW portal to download the cancer patient data set. And for the second half of the class, we'll be using Taiwan Biobank database to download the healthy individuals data. So as you can see, the popularity of the data science software. So this is the basic information about the SPSS, and this is founded by the 3 Stanford students in 1968. So now it's currently acquired by IBM. So here's the download data, SPS 18 download sites. So in my cloud, so you can access to them using my account and the password. So the SPSS software includes a 3 components. One is data windows, another is output windows, and then the last one is a syntax windows. But I don't think we will be using this window because this window is intended for the programmers. Okay, so now the most important thing is the variables in the statistics software, in the SPSS software. So basically, this is the concept of a variable is universal across the software. So there are 2 major types of variables. One is categorical variables, and another is scale variable. So, and in the categorical variable, it can be further divided into 2 groups. One is nominal variable, and another is ordinal variable. Okay, so if you look at the SPSS interface, it is very similar to the Excel, but it has 2 windows. One is data views, and another is variable views. And in the data view, you can see here is the variable from the Google Questionnaire. So here we have a gender variable and an age variable and a region variable and so on. And if you look at the window of the variable view, and the SPSS will tell you the property of the variables. For example, the gender belongs to nominal variables, and age belongs to the scale variables. Right here. So here, I will give you a paper sheet, and this paper sheet will include several variables, and your job is to distinguish which one belongs to a nominal, which one belongs to ordinal, and which one belongs to scale variables. And so, for example, the categorical variables, by definition, is that you can categorize the variable into groups. Take gender, for example. Gender is the most obvious categorical variables, because it only has two. We only has two gender, right? Is male. First is male, and the second is female, right? So the gender belongs to nominal, because it belongs to nominal variables. So, okay, here is I announced the answers. So here, the nominal variables, we have three nominal variables, which is the gender, relationship, and the marriage. So you can see in the nominal variables whether in the nominal variables only have we only have two groups, group 1 and group 2. But in the ordinal variables, for example, job positions, in a company we have a CEO and a president and a director, chief, and this is engineer, and this is operators. So the job positions belongs to the ordinal variables, because it can be categorized into more than two groups, right? So scale variables is relatively easy. It belongs, whatever it is, numeric value such as age and salary and height and weight, it belongs to a scale variable. Okay, so here is the Google Questionnaire link. So you are required to fill in this Google Questionnaire in order to begin your first lessons of the variable analysis. So in this Google Questionnaire, there are several variables. There are several variables which includes the gaming and salary. You're a student, but you don't have salary, right? But if you work part-time, you will have salary. And if you're not, do the part-time job, and probably here is your allowance, right? So basically here is the income of students, right? So another variable is relationship. And here, so I also add this variable play instrument. So you can do the Google Questionnaire to finish this the first assignment. So here, for example, the gaming belongs to the ordinal variables, because when it comes to gaming, and you probably will think how many times you play video game in a week, 1, 2, or more than 4 times. So salary. So here, the variables will all be correlated with the satisfaction of life, right? So this is a very interesting questionnaire, right? So here the relationship, and also a relationship here, as I mentioned before, it only has two groups, right? One is you're in a relationship, or either you're not in the relationship. So whether or not this relationship will affect your degree of satisfactions, we don't know. So you have to do the Google Questionnaire to figure it out. But I can tell you, the last year's students, the result is very interesting. So the playing instrument is also the nominal variables, and the salary is the scale variables. So here, here's the result from the last year's students, and here I will teach you how to transform the variables and how to group the variables. So this is just basic the preview of the SPSS working environment. For example, you can categorize a salary into 4 different groups, so that you can make the salary into from a scale variable to the ordinary variables. Okay, so for example here, if you transform the scale variables, the salary or allowance that you can categorize, that you can transform them into categorical variables, that which means you can group them 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's wrap up today's class. In this class, you will learn how to fetch the raw data from an online data bank via data portals such as the CBA portal or Taiwan Biobank, and then you input this data into software and process the data, and then you output the data. And we are not doing this because you are not familiar with the variable. So we are going to begin with the Google questionnaire to get you warm up, get you familiar with the variable definitions and how to operate the software. And then you can start to learn how to define variables, how to use proper functions to process the data. Okay, the last, and I will leave you a wisdom word from Elon Musk. The wisdom word from Elon Musk is when something is important enough and you do it, and even odds are not in your favor. Okay, here is our today's class. Thank you, and I will see you next time.